right, let's start the show here. Eddie, welcome to. We're trying a new format, off
Hmm.
air. I'm just trying to do a few of these off air live shows to have in my back pocket. Maybe I'll take
Yeah.
a few days off and then just gonna air something. So there's something for the community to watch. And you know what? Right away, I have to compliment. I just saw it that you put the orange light on the other side, and
Yeah.
that's just perfect. I think.
Yeah. It's sitting on the ground. I didn't have. I have more light stands around, but I thought it'd be a good contrast just to have it lower and
Yeah,
it's kind of sneaky over there.
very sneaky. It kind of looks like it's coming from your laptop.
Oh yeah.
It's like
It could be.
yeah. When you have it like this, man, what
Hmm.
was that? Oh my god, what was the movie where they open up the case and it's like the light is shining? God, I'm
A
really
lot of movies.
bad with references. But either
Yeah.
way, let's talk some watches because
Great.
we really don't get opportunity to kind of talk with the collectors extensively. Uh,
Hmm.
because during the live show it's more interactive, but here we get a little bit more opportunity to just talk one on
Yeah.
one. So
Yeah.
Eddie, please tell me how did you? Well, let's start how you found the community, and then we'll talk about your wristwatch journey.
So I've been watching Archie for a long time. Ever since
Mm,
it was. I'm trying to think of the first one that I saw. I mean, I remember I've been watching him like way before Jewelers on Time was a sponsor.
wow, that's a
And
long time ago.
I think I started watching him before he got fired from his IT job. And I think it was around the time he had I don't know. It's been so long that
Yeah,
there's like many different chapters of Archie, how he's
damn,
evolved from everything. But
the
like
journey,
the journey
the
of
gold
Archie
sub,
luxury.
the good old days, the good old
Oh,
days.
yeah, the gold sub when he wore it at a pool in Thailand or somewhere or Singapore. Back when he had the Polar Explorer and he was all about the
Yes,
Polar Explorer.
the Polar Explorer.
Yeah, and that he definitely influenced me in what watches
Yeah,
I wanted. But back then I didn't have the money, so
yeah.
I didn't get any watches until recently. But yeah, I've been watching Archie Luxury for a really long time.
Mm,
Off and on, sometimes I'll go on a binge for a couple of weeks where I just watch everything,
yeah,
and then I don't watch him for a few weeks.
yeah.
So it's kind of like off and on like that.
Because there's so much content, you can get easily burnt
Yeah.
out.
And he
Like if
posts like 8 times a day.
yeah, you consume, and now with the live shows, I don't know.
Yeah.
Have you been following the live shows?
Yeah, I've been following some of them. I remember
Mhm.
like it's to be honest, it's a lot of time. So I usually pop in and out. I usually watch them after they've been live, or sometimes when it's live when I'm
Mhm.
driving, I'll listen to them.
Yeah,
But yeah, there's it's like 8 hours of live show a day. I can't watch all of it.
I know it's impossible, impossible.
Yeah.
And we're trying to do multiple live shows at the same time. It's gonna get crazy.
Hmm.
Just wait.
All the rebels streaming.
Yes, just the rebel streaming. I want to take the stigma away from rebel streaming. Well, I
Hmm.
mean, look, I threw this idea out months ago that I want a perpetual
Hmm.
wristwatch live stream, so that there's people talking about watches around the clock, 24/7.
Like a wristwatch network.
Exactly. So there's a website. There's a central hub,
Hmm.
and you can go on the website and you can check who's streaming now. And people just take turns. Like somebody
Yeah.
would be streaming, like Archie would be like the prime time. You got the
Hmm. The
before,
headliner.
after, and you got the after, before, and we
Hmm.
can build it up in the circle and kind of complete it. Boom. And there's a lot of people came out. They'd be like, yeah, I can do. Because there's people from California, so they could do like
Hmm.
really late shows, and then there's people from East Asia, and they'll be like, "Oh, this is already morning for
Yeah.
us, so I can start. I can do this window." So maybe soon we'll make it happen. That would
I
be
think
really
that'd be
cool.
great.
Yeah.
Like because I feel like a lot of your audience, it's a lot of the same people,
Yes.
and you wouldn't have to have this platform necessarily on YouTube if you want to hit deeper monetization,
Yes.
because YouTube takes a huge cut of everything.
It's
But
massive.
yeah, I think I think that's great. I think that because you guys have such a consistent audience, when you go on the stream, it's the same people there.
Yeah.
And, to be honest, all you really need is a couple hundred people to watch your stream. And that's a huge success. You don't need to have,
And actually, we can build audiences as we're going around the circle, right? So as we're starting to do more shows in like later hours or earlier hours, at first there's very few people watching, but as people keep doing it, people will find the show at this time and they'll see it. And also, especially with the website, that could help centralize everything. And we don't have to just use YouTube. We can direct people to Twitch or other networks. So
I mean, you look at the biggest talk show, the biggest podcast, Joe Rogan was just all on YouTube.
Yes.
And all you need to do is there's tons of people that love watches, and you just slowly bring them in, and then you can have the network grow. And if you have it as a network, it's more equal, it's less it's less presenter focused.
Yeah.
And I think that's gonna be the best
Also,
way to
less
grow
stress
as a
for people
community.
who are doing the stream, because there's an audience that can always tune in and find the show easily. So but man, that's kind of the future plans of the wristwatch network. Now let's talk about your collection, how you got into the hobby. Because you got some very interesting pieces, some surprising stuff.
So I guess I'd introduce myself. My name is Eddy. I turned 26 4 days ago.
Ooh.
So I'm still young.
Very young. That's a 35-year-old man's collection. There's a heavy hitting pieces here.
Yeah, I know.
You came in fast and furious.
I know. I mean, I got my first watch. I bought my first Rolex less than a year ago.
Okay.
And my dad gave me my first Rolex 2 to 3 back in I think July 2018. But my story kind of starts earlier than that, because I've always loved watches. I've always loved cars. Can't afford a nice car, but I've always loved watches.
I'm still driving
and,
Uber.
I'm driving. My car can't even qualify for Uber. I'm driving a 22-year-old Lexus that has a broken AC that gets 10 miles per gallon. And right now we're in a heat wave, and it's going to be 106 degrees today. So I'm not leaving my house for today because it's way too hot.
Nice.
It's like, I think I talked. Yeah, like I have a YouTube channel, Eddy's Watches. Not going to plug it, but
no, you have to plug. I'll put the plugs in the video description. So if you email me, I'll plug. You see, there's so much room underneath us. I'm gonna plug right above David SW. So I'll put
right next to the premium.
Yeah. David SW sponsors this stream, I guess.
Yeah, but look at my GMT and my Submariner. Like, the price difference between those two watches is like more than my car.
Oh yeah.
And I think I drive a bad car out of well, not a bad car. It's a Lexus Land Cruiser, but I drive an old kind of the inside is not good. But I drive. I don't know. It's cheap to just have that car.
Save money on the car. Buy better watches. But watches go up in value. So the car.
That's how I was able to buy the Sub, right?
Well, we'll get to the Sub. Don't tell people.
I'm not gonna jump the gun.
Yeah, jump the gun. All right. So, but we have now. This is where your journey seems to begin, right?
Yeah.
That's the.
So, this is the first.
The OG.
The very first watch. So, growing up, my dad loved watches, but he never wore them because he had some sort of nickel allergy. And then my uncle also loved watches, and he has a lot of really expensive watches. I mean, growing up when I was like 16, 17, I couldn't recognize what they were. Yeah. But now I found out they were like chronograph Pateks. And he would buy hundreds of so he works in China. He lives in China. He works in business in China. And I don't know, in China, you know how it is in China. You give a lot of gifts.
Yes.
So he would spend, like a couple $100,000 on watches as gifts, on alcohol, on baijiu, on wine. So he had a really good relationship with his AD. So he had a bunch of these really high end white gold, platinum Pateks, and
Wow.
I didn't know anything about that because I just
Yeah.
thought they were watches.
Just a
In
regular ordinary.
China, yeah, I just thought they were just dress watches. I mean, in China,
Yeah.
he had like a Mercedes S class, which to most people it's like, oh, it's a
Yeah.
$90,000 car, but
Yeah.
in China, there's an import tariff. It's like a
Yeah.
$300,000 car. It's like, wait, what? And he had two of them.
Yeah.
So I thought, like,
Wow.
he's doing okay, but it turns out no,
Doing great.
he was doing really well.
Mm.
So I've been indirectly exposed to him. He indirectly exposed to nice watches, and this was going back on topic.
Yeah.
This was the first nice watch that I had. So this was given to me by my dad for my graduation present back in 2018.
Wow.
I graduated. I majored in physics and communications, and this is a Rolex 16233. And as you can tell with the photos, it has a rhodium dial with diamond hour markers, and the diamond hour markers are held in a yellow gold, and I really love that with this two-tone pattern. So you can see that the gold and the silver metals almost never touch except for on the bracelet. But like when you look at the case, it alternates from silver to gold to silver on the dial to gold on the what's it called, prongs to hold the diamond, and then back to like a silvery white. So silvery white on the diamond hour marker part. So I really love like the balance in this watch, just going alternating metals. And so this watch is also super mint. It still has the stickers on the back because he bought it and he just never wore it because he had an allergy, or it might not be an allergy because the back is still fully stickered. So maybe he was just reacting to the plastic.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. I think I have a allergic reaction to a different kind of plastic. As a reference to the show, it's like a few people will get it, but what a lot of people don't they kind of underestimate how well Rolex sets their jewels. So the diamond markers, the way they put them, I mean that it's so beautiful, beautiful the way they do it. And this is
it's probably
yeah
it's probably like only a quarter of a carat, but it's costing, you're making the list price go up by like a few $1,000s.
Well, they take the best diamonds. They don't just put just any old diamond. The highest quality, highest grade diamonds for Rolex users. They don't. And also same thing with gold. I mean, they have their own foundry, so they smelled some of the best stuff. So it's nothing. It's nothing to sneeze at. But this, wow, what a freaking what. What did he say to you when he gifted this?
Oh, he didn't really say anything. It was more like, here's a watch. I mean, he just had this in his drawer. So it was basically, here's a watch. I can't find the box yet, but if you need extra links, let me know. Because the box is just lost somewhere. Because he liked watches.
Papers. What about papers? You got the papers, or the papers are in the box somewhere?
The papers are in the box, which, but I don't think that's that important because I'm not going to sell it. It's
family heirloom.
But also this made me really like the Jubilee bracelet. I mean, it's so soft, and back in the older stretchy days of the Jubilee, it's also just so light. It's like silky smooth. It feels fantastic. Doesn't age that well, but it feels great.
That's what, like the fluted and the Jubilee, that's what people, most like non-watch people, that's what they understand Rolex to be for. Like when they see these two elements, they think, oh, that's Rolex.
Yeah. This is the icon of the 80s, right?
Icon of the 80s. Yeah, actually, you know Jonathan, right? That's the gentleman that had the first test trial of these kind of interviews, but had it live, and it it was multiple.
I thought Archie jumped on that.
Archie jumped on. It was multiple interruptions. It was I also got a strike on that one, so yeah, it was
Ooh.
yeah, it didn't work out well. So now what he mentions that he was a watch dealer back in the days, and he said this is the stuff that people wanted. Nobody wanted the steel sports like it's right now. These they couldn't keep in stock. So
Yeah.
it's the trends, they come and go. So don't like people are so occupied by the trends, and
Hmm.
actually like if you people will say like, hey, Tim, you shouldn't be the one to speak about, because like all you have is just trendy watches. But it's just it wasn't it, because they're not looking at my collection over time. Is that I didn't buy the
Hmm.
trendy stuff back then. It's just so happened to, and it will flip. And I
Hmm.
understand that in the future. I hope it won't, but I I'm perfectly okay with my pieces becoming dogs again, because I'm not selling them. I got them
Hmm.
for myself. So, and it's like every Rolex, you could get the worst one, and what you think is the worst one, and then
Hmm.
you watch it, you wear it, and you learn to appreciate it, and you understand how freaking amazing it is.
Yeah.
Right?
I
It's
mean,
just
I didn't like two-tone watches, but with
yeah.
this watch, I think that I really like this dial.
Mm,
And my friend thinks it's ugly. My friend has a date just that just has a
yeah.
normal champagne dial,
Yes.
but everyone and their grandfather has a date just with a champagne dial. But
Oh yeah,
like the
that's
silver dial,
common. Yeah.
I think this looks great. I think this watch has more wrist presence than a lot of my other watches, and
It is.
I just
This is
really like
kind of
this.
a little bit a nod to
Yeah.
the new Oyster Perpetual. It has
Hmm.
very similar, right? The new Oyster Perpetual's got the silver dial with the gold markers
Markers.
and hands. It's got that contrast. So it's like it's just people don't like it because they didn't spend time with it.
Hmm.
But like a Rolex, they have a very few options of like
Yeah.
colors, and but everything is
Hmm.
tested very thoroughly. And in fact, it is like I didn't appreciate my Explorer 2 when I got it. I
Hmm.
learned to love it, and now it's my favorite watch. It's become. It used to be a dog. When
Hmm.
I got it, I think they were going $2,000 under retail. Now they're going
So
kind
you
of
got it like maybe 8 years ago?
no, no, no,
How
no,
many
no.
years ago
That
did you get it?
was like 4 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they were.
Because yeah,
Yeah.
I remember like when I was in college looking at
Mm.
watches, like the Explorer 2 was one of the watches I was looking at, and I was like, $4,500. That's way too much
Yes.
money.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
And now
And
look at it.
and people, I was talking to Adrian, right? And
Mhm.
Adrian bought the Bark and Jack Adrian. He bought
Mhm.
his Explorer 2 for £3,000 or something like that. Yeah. And he says,
45. Yeah.
yeah, and now he's thinking of getting Explorer 2 again. And he says, I cannot buy the 40 millimeter one
Mhm.
because I associate that price with that watch, and just I cannot like that's
It's
why
too
he said,
much.
yeah, it's too much. It's like he bought it before for £3,000, and that number is just stuck in his brain. He can't make himself spend. Now they want like eight. It's
8.
ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money.
Funny. So
And
he's thinking of
speaking of
getting the 42. But yes, let's go next one.
yeah, so speaking of, watches, the price of the stainless steel watches, that's going to
Mm,
be a great segue into why I bought my next watch.
mm,
So the next watch that I bought was a 36 millimeter day date. And this was my first Rolex that I bought. This was the first
boom.
Rolex that I purchased. There's other issues with it that I'm going to talk about in a little bit, but
Sure.
when I was shopping around for my first Rolex,
Mm,
I wanted a Batman GMT, but
yes.
they were this was in 2019 August. So they were
Mm,
trading at around I think $13,000 or $14,000 back then.
yeah.
Somewhere in that neighborhood, and
Mhm.
I just couldn't believe that watches were trading over
Over retail.
retail price. Who would buy a used watch for more than a new watch? And this is before I was introduced to the whole AD game and
Yeah,
everything like
yeah.
that. I was like, this is crazy. I'm just going to go there and buy one. So, I spent a
Yeah.
few months traveling around. So this would be in what? So this would be. So I got this watch. Oh, I didn't get this watch in 20. Did I say I got this watch in 2019?
I don't know. We'll see it on the replay.
Yeah, well, I got this watch in September 2020.
Okay.
So in 2019, that's when I was shopping around for watches. So I was like, I travel a lot for work.
Yes.
So I wanted the GMT function. So I would travel to
Yeah.
China twice a month.
Mm.
So I would always fly into Hong Kong and I would visit the Hong Kong airport boutique. And they would never have steel sports watches. I'd always ask about a Batman. Very
Did they have
ambitious of
Explorer
me.
too? Did they have Explorer too?
They had no stainless steel watches. They had a solid gold 42 millimeter sky dweller that I tried on.
Wow.
That's a big watch.
It's also a hell of a lot of money.
Yeah, it's like $45,000 or something like that. It's a decent chunk of coin. So I was looking around for a lot of these for stainless steel watches, and I wanted the Batman, but I couldn't afford the Batman, or I didn't want to pay that price for the Batman.
Yeah.
And then I guess this isn't the first Rolex I bought, because I did buy another Rolex before this that I returned. I bought a 116264 with the blue dial. So it was the turnograph with the blue dial with the red seconds hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I really loved that watch, and I was like, wait, this is a 36 millimeter blue dial, Datejust, rotating bezel.
Yeah.
This is a great watch. This is a beautiful watch. And I bought that watch for, I think it was around $5,000. So it was pretty affordable.
Yeah, that's very affordable.
But when I got the watch, there were issues with it. When I got the watch, a major thing was during polishing, they mixed up the bands. So I got a GMT bracelet on there. And that was kind of a, like a red flag. Like, wait, why is there a GMT bracelet on here? And then I wore it around my house, and I was like adjusting the time, setting the time. And I also found out that the crown was cross-threaded. And there was also a slight chip on the crystal. So, the watch wasn't in the condition that I wanted.
Yeah.
And so I sent it back. And, I didn't want to deal with it. After my first impression of it left a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah.
So
who did you buy that from?
I bought it from Del Rey Luxe. So they were great about it. They took care of it. Is that Federico?
Del Rey.
Not Del Rey Luxe is different than Del Rey watches.
Oh, okay.
So, because I think Federico is based in California, based in Florida.
Florida, yeah.
And these guys were based in Marina Del Rey. But but they took care of it. They acknowledged their mistake, and they took the return. They took care of it. There was nothing shady going on there. I would work with them again.
Yeah.
So after I returned that watch, I kind of got thrown back into square one. Yeah. And when I bought that watch in January 2020. So I started looking at a lot of these stainless steel sports watches again. I started looking at a lot of these stainless steel sports watches again. I just couldn't get over the pricing. At this time, the GMT has gone up another $2,000. So there was no way. If I didn't buy the Batman at 13, I'm definitely not buying the Batman at 15.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So now I was like looking like, what else could I buy? And then I was like, well, I've always wanted the Day-Date. Growing up, the Day-Date was a watch that I knew. I didn't know that much about watches, but I know like the Day-Date was a watch that I knew, and the Lamborghini Gallardo was a watch there was a car that I loved.
Ooh.
A manual convertible. I love that. They also gone up 2x in price now recently.
Everything.
All of the gated
waiting lists.
Yeah, the gated shifter Lamborghini Gallardos went up a lot. Just because they found out there were so few of them. So that's add another 10, 20 years to that timeline. Damn. But yeah, so that's why I bought a Day-Date. I've always wanted one. I've always loved them. They're iconic. They're a modern icon. They're a historical icon.
That's the winners Rolex. Like when you succeeded, that's the Rolex that people got, right? That's the president.
Archie calls it like the captains of industry.
The captains of industry. And this is the best value, I think. So because these were severely, probably at that time when you got it, because now they're also going up in price just because everything Rolex is going up.
Everything is.
But probably when you got it, that was the cheapest that you could buy these.
Yeah, I paid 17 for this,
My God,
which
that's incredible.
I think it was a good price.
I think now they're like 20 something. They're like
Yeah,
22, maybe 23.
yeah. I mean, because I really wanted a
Mm,
solid bracelet version
yeah.
because I don't want bracelet flex. I mean, if you look at this watch, there is zero play in the bracelet because it has
Let me
the
see it.
solid bracelet,
Let me
and it
put you
also has, I don't know if you'll
full
see this from
screen.
here,
There
but
you go. Oh, that's minty,
it's
minty,
flat.
minty. Whew.
It's really flat. And it also
Yeah.
has the heavy buckle, which I also really wanted because I didn't want to have a stamped clasp
Yeah.
holding a,
Yeah. Yeah.
$15,000-$20,000 watch. So yeah, this was the first Rolex that I bought.
Wow.
But it's not all rosy. There's like some discrepancies with it. I'm not
What
100% sure.
what are the
So
discrepancies?
if you look so
What?
if you look at the watch, you can see there's no lume on the hands or the
Okay.
hour markers,
Well,
which I
that makes it a dress watch. It's not
yeah, but
for yeah.
I didn't. I don't know if they did that often. And if you also look at the
Mm,
date wheel and day wheel, it's
yeah.
all white text rather than like the traditional tan text. So I've been looking around online and I couldn't find any examples that were similar to this, except for
Mhm.
only like one or two photos.
Hmm.
So I kind of think that this is a redialed, color dialed watch. So if you had like a day date with a blue dial, there would
Hmm.
be no lume on the hands, and the day and date wheel would be white text. I mean white backgrounds.
Hmm.
So I thought they might have redialed it, but there's also a chance that it's completely factory and they just sent it out like this, no lume.
Oh, that's very interesting. Very interesting. So one of the viewers is probably going to research this and make a comment
Hmm.
for us below with the links and everything, so that I don't have to do this research. But
Yeah.
it's an interesting question. It's a actually very interesting. I do like that it's batons, like
Hmm.
Roman numerals. Well, I think for you it will be a little bit too like
Too old,
yeah, too old. But
too
this
mature, too mature.
yeah, too mature. Yeah, this is a perfect watch. Actually, investment wise, you couldn't have
Yeah.
picked up the better watch. I think it's yeah, 17,000.
Yeah.
That's fucking
And
amazing.
this was the same price as a Batman GMT
Yeah,
back then.
what the
I mean, the Batman
no
GMTs might
brainer.
have gone up more now, but like you're debating between a stainless steel watch and a solid gold
Solid
president. What's going on? What's
gold,
going on?
solid gold, guys. Solid gold. It's
Yeah,
just insane. I mean, this world it makes zero sense.
and it's
You
just
know?
like who in their right mind is, well, a lot of people in
Yeah.
their right mind are buying the GMTs, Batman's, Pepsis,
Oh
but
yeah.
like that's a lot of money where you're not getting the
You're not getting the
necessarily as
value.
much value, and like
It's you're
I look for
getting more
value. That's
perceived value. There is a right. There
yeah,
would be like a physical value, which this would be like
hmm,
a gold watch. You get the
yeah,
complication, you get the heritage, and then there's the perceived value, the
yeah,
current state of the flex collection. Right,
hmm,
everybody's trying to flex, and I think this is whew, having a full gold piece in your collection. That's just king of the hill, man. This is
yeah,
where it's at. Uh,
yeah. I love it,
yeah, it's incredible.
but I mean,
Pretty
I
incredible.
do kind of wish
Mm,
I had the 40 though. That's something that's always in the back of my mind because this has a 40 or 50 hour power reserve,
yeah,
and it's 36 mils. And I kind of wish I had the 40, but the 40 was also $10,000 more or something like
yeah.
that. So maybe not,
What's your
but
wrist size?
7 inches.
7 inches.
Yeah.
Look, the 40 is the 40 better? Is the 36? I think it doesn't really matter. Look, I'm wearing
Hmm.
my Explorer Explorer 136. Right? People say that it's the lady size. The lady size. You know what?
It's the
That's the
fun.
original size. Rolex
Yeah.
brought it back down to the 36 because the original one was 36, and I can appreciate it for what it is. In the same thing with the day date, the present. That's the
Mhm.
original size.
Yeah.
That's how it was first designed. That's how it. Actually, I think it might have been even smaller. But the 36. It's a perfect unisex size.
Yeah.
You can wear it when you get married. Your wife can wear it. If you have children, you can pass this on to a daughter or a
Son
boy.
or daughter.
Yeah, the 36 is a perfect size as a heirloom piece because with the 40,
Yeah.
you don't know. You don't know what's gonna happen.
Sometimes it's too big.
Yeah, it's a little bit too showy. Look, there's not actually right. The date just is 41, and the dated is 40,
Mhm.
so they still kind of pulled it
Pulled
back a
it
little
back.
bit. Yeah, but
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with the 36. That's what's trendy right now. The 40 is trendy, and I don't think it matters, as especially for a dress watch.
Yeah.
It's not like you wouldn't be wear. Although you could wear it every day. And actually, look, there's a
Yeah.
lot of gold. It's a heavy watch. The
Yeah.
40 will be that much more heavier. So look, there's benefits and negatives to everything. There's nothing wrong with that watch.
Yeah, I know. Another thing that I was considering, because I love the 36, but I also
Yeah,
love the 40. I
yeah,
think that a solid gold watch at 36 millimeters has a lot of wrist presence
yeah,
because it's
yes.
solid gold. It's not
It's
like it's a
solid
stainless steel
gold.
36.
Yeah,
It's a loud watch, and maybe 40 millimeters might be too loud.
yeah,
36 millimeters is also pretty loud, but it's
yeah.
not as loud as 40.
It's a full gold. How loud do you want to be? You know what I mean?
It needs
Man.
diamonds.
Sometimes look like yeah. Sometimes you're like, oof, maybe make your ego explode a little bit too much.
Yeah,
Sometimes you don't want to have the most expensive watch in the room because this could be a little
yeah.
bit.
Especially in work situations. Because
Yeah.
oftentimes, I look at this watch and I
Mm,
think, should I really be wearing a solid gold watch? I'm 26. I'm
yeah.
not doing anything that special. Should I
Yes.
really be wearing a solid gold watch? And sometimes you even think, should I even be wearing a Rolex? Should I be wearing
Yeah.
like something else? But I love it. I think that I really nailed the sweet spot and value of
Yeah.
the Rolex lineup when I got it because everything was going up back in August, September 2020. So
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
this
That's
was my first Rolex
dude.
that I
That's
bought.
a incredible watch. Incredible value too. Oh my. I mean that. I
Yeah.
think those went for 36,000, and then they dropped
Hmm.
half the price to for you to pick it up for 17. You
Yeah.
said yeah, 17.
Yeah, 17.
Jesus,
So
half,
yeah.
maybe even more than half. That's incredible, incredible.
Yeah. I love it. I mean, yeah, obviously when you buy a used watch, you have to buy it from someone reputable, someone you
Yeah,
know, or if you don't know, someone with a storefront and a website. So I got this
yeah.
from Watchbox because
Oh, watch box. Okay,
yeah.
very cool.
So it's you're able to buy with confidence, even though the
Yeah,
dial thing kind of was shaky at first, but
I will
I
figure it
think I
out.
think it's fine.
Yeah,
And
we'll
even if it's
figure it out.
not, it's fine.
Dude, it's your watch. It doesn't.
Yeah.
We'll get a little bit too nitpicky. It's okay to be
Yeah.
nitpicky when you're first buying or if you're
Hmm.
researching, but once you have it, it's just like just it's your watch. It's your watch.
Yeah.
Just like it's your scratches on it, and
Hmm.
dude, it's your story. The
Your
story at
memories
the
you're
end of the day.
making with it.
Yeah, remember where
Yeah. I mean,
you
if we were
went
all
with
that
it.
picky, we'd all be single
Yeah,
forever, right?
yeah, exactly, exactly, man. Especially in my case, let's be real here. All right, so now you went from that to a yacht master.
Yeah. So there was another recurring theme of
Mm,
not wanting to pay that much over retail.
mm,
So when I was looking
yeah,
for watches, I wanted a daily watch because at this
yes,
point I had a president's and a date
yeah.
just all of
Full
which
gold
that
and a
you
two-tone.
can't daily.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. It's
Yeah.
a little loud. A little loud.
So it's like I want a daily watch, but
Yeah.
I want a Submariner, but
Mm,
I'm not going to pay the $3,000, $4,000 premium on that. Come on, that's 50%. No.
yeah.
And also thought the Submariner was kind of plain. That
Yes.
everybody has a Submariner. It's kind of overplayed. But with a
Yeah.
Yacht-Master, you don't see these that often.
No.
It
Yeah.
has a beautiful blue dial, the red accents,
Mm,
and it has a platinum bezel, which some people love, some people hate. I personally really like it
yes.
because it's special. Most people would never have guessed that this is a platinum bezel,
yeah.
but it's platinum. It's 950 platinum.
Whew.
So yeah, when I bought this watch, it was mainly I bought it back in June. So I've only had it for a few months,
Oh,
and
okay.
it's a 2019 watch. I bought it used.
Very cool. How much did you pay for this?
12.2.
Wow. And then these sell for more than that. I think this is like a
Yeah.
13,
It's like
14.
14. Yeah,
Yeah,
13 to
14.
14,000 now.
Yeah, 14. So you got the watch that went under retail instead of paying over retail for a Submariner. That
Actually, no. This watch is 12,000 at retail. At
okay.
resale, it's like 13 to 14.
Oh, so it actually gains a little bit more.
Yeah. I mean, everything's gaining
Yeah.
a little bit more now.
Yeah.
It's still a 40 mil
Yeah.
sports watch, but right now, these are priced under Submariners, and
Mm. Oh yeah, yeah. The sub
yeah,
and I I'm actually I tell a lot of people like there is no there's no that hype that surrounds the Yacht-Masters, but it
hmm
is actually a better wearing experience on the wrist.
yeah,
It doesn't have those
the
sharp edges of the Submariner, right? Like the
mhm,
Submariner, it's a tool watch. It's very all the edges are really sharp, and when you have it on the wrist, you do feel kind of a little bit like you're wearing a handcuff or something.
yeah,
You can feel,
it's
but this,
big.
yeah, but this actually wears like a, it's like a Submariner.
Datejust,
It wears like a they just, yeah,
yeah.
that's what it is.
This is thinner than the modern
Yeah,
Datejust. I think this is
yeah,
12 millimeters. No, this is 11 and a half millimeters thick.
yeah,
And like the Datejust 41 is 12 millimeters thick,
yeah,
which is a little bit confusing because they have the
mm,
same movement, but this has a rotating bezel. How is this
yeah,
one thinner? But
and
this watch wears like a dress watch, but looks like a sports watch.
yeah,
And I really like that. That's what I really love about this watch. It's a Rolex, but
yeah,
most people wouldn't be able to recognize it as a Rolex without seeing the logo. And the
exactly.
Yacht-Master has a small but devout following.
Yes. Look, a Yacht-Master is it is quite a more refined Submariner, a
Yeah.
little bit snootier, but nobody
hmm
knows that it is. So
Yeah.
that's the beauty of it, is that it is a little bit more stealthy, laid
Yeah.
back a little bit. It's very very cool.
And then, but yes, that's a great segue because we're talking
Mm.
about the Yacht-Master, and now we can talk about my next
Now
watch, which is the
now
Submariner.
you weren't satisfied with having just the Yacht-Master. Now you went now what? Now this is the 41. That's the new one.
Yeah, yeah. I got this 2 weeks after I got my Yacht-Master. So
Wow.
I want to clarify this and say
Yeah.
that the Yacht-Master is not an alternative to a Submariner.
No.
It's not It's not either or. It's not either or. It's and. If you want
Yeah.
a Yacht-Master and you want a Submariner, the
Mm.
Submariner won't scratch the Yacht-Master itch.
No.
The
No.
Yacht-Master won't scratch the sub itch. So you're gonna end up with
But
both.
the Yacht-Master could scratch the date just itch.
Yeah,
Can yeah.
yeah, yeah. So if you have a Yacht-Master,
Yeah.
you probably won't need a date just because
Right.
it has the platinum bezel
Yeah. The
and it blends
luxury.
in really well. It
Yes.
looks great.
Yeah. Where's like
It's kind of like
it's got the date, beautiful dial. Yeah.
got a bezel that
Yeah.
rotates.
Yeah, exactly. A bezel that also in the light, like I like how the platinum, right? It
Yeah,
is kind of bead blasted, but the
yeah.
parts with the numbers, they are polished very well.
hmm
You do
It
have to be
really
careful.
pops,
Yeah.
and it's really easy to scratch.
Mm. Yeah, my wife got a huge gouge on her the triangle, the triangle bezel.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
she
yeah.
really gouged. She has the 37 Yacht-Master, the small one.
Okay.
So, but like, how did you? So you got the Yacht-Master. Was the Yacht-Master like a compromise for you? You thought that oh, it's better, but did you get this retail over retail? What's the situation? How did this
So
end up?
I guess your first question, the Yacht-Master was kind of a compromise. I
Yeah,
wanted the sub because the sub would be a better daily,
yeah,
but the Yacht-Master, it's also kind of dressier. I think it's a
very. Yep. The polished
higher
center looks.
quality watch, and it was
Mm,
cheaper than a sub.
yes.
But I would never buy it. So like why I bought the Yacht-Master, I didn't want to buy a Submariner at resale prices,
Yes.
but I would buy a Submariner at retail prices, which is
Yes.
what I did.
Nice.
So I was able to get
Wow.
this at retail from my AD, And
Wow.
she was really great. She really hooked it up. I went in on a Friday,
Mhm.
I went in on a Friday wearing my Yacht-Master,
Yes.
and I was talking with the AD and I said, yeah, I really want a Submariner. And I love the Yacht-Master. I have a day date, I have a date just, but I really love the Sub. And
Yes.
I'm wondering if you can get me one. And then she said, yeah, I'll try to do my best to get it to you before the summer ends because I'm going off to grad school.
Yeah.
And then
Wow.
2 weeks later, she gives me a call and says, I have a watch for you.
Wow.
And that's how I got this watch. And this is the first Rolex
Mm.
that I bought new. So
Wow.
this watch has a special place in my heart.
Wow. You really got lucky with this one. I mean, you see, it wouldn't have worked if you hadn't had a story and a good reason to
Yeah.
get one. You know what I mean? Like if
Yeah.
you just went in there, just any other
If you had money,
guy.
everybody has money.
Yeah, yeah. But you went there. Now, wait. How did you come up with this idea? Because that's something I tell people who watch my show. I tell them, like, I coach them, like, listen, you
Mhm.
want one. There's you have to have a good reason. You have to be honest with them. You have to tell them that you need one. Like, how did you end up
Well,
going
the
to your AD and asking them?
well, the best story is an honest story, right?
Yeah.
Like I was honest with them. I said, I bought this Yacht-Master because
Yes.
I couldn't find a Submariner. And,
Yeah.
to be honest, before I bought the Yacht-Master, I didn't really go into the AD that much. After I
Yeah.
bought the Yacht-Master, that's when I first went into the AD. And I was like,
Yeah.
I was telling them, I am going to grad school. It is a notable event. And I was
Mm.
just being completely honest with them,
Yeah.
saying like, I want a watch I could wear daily. I don't want to pay the resale prices,
Yeah.
but I want a watch that I can wear daily. And the watch that I have right now, I can't. And the salesperson was actually really great. She didn't try to
Yes.
push me to Tudor. She didn't try to
Yeah.
push me to any of the other watches there. And we had a really good connection. She was really nice,
Mm.
and we had great conversations. And yeah, I think the
Wow.
best relationship to build with your AD is just an honest one, and
Honest.
hopefully they'll be honest with you too. Because I don't want her to tell me that, oh, there's a chance I can get a Daytona if I'm never
Yeah.
going to get one.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
like, for example, like after I got this watch, I went back in a few weeks later and I was like, I really want a GMT. And then she was honest and said, I'm probably not going to get one. And I appreciate that because I don't
Yeah.
want to be led on thinking I
Yeah.
really even have a chance if there's no
Yeah.
chance. I don't want to have my expectations
Right.
high and then let down.
Yeah. No, I mean it makes sense. Look, a Submariner should be, in my opinion, it's such an iconic Rolex watch that it should be kind of available to anyone who
Hmm.
kind of needs it and really needs it. And it has to be someone who's enthusiast. And obviously, you went
Yeah.
through day date. You have the Yacht-Master. If somebody asks you about Submariner, you're not gonna say, "Oh, excuse me, this is not a Submariner. This is a Rolex." You're not gonna represent the brand in the wrong
Yeah.
way. And you already went through like a kind of a trial, just getting
Hmm.
that, because it wasn't easy to get it. you
Yeah.
you went through everything, the mental exhaustion. Like you're never gonna sell this watch. I mean, just
Yeah.
the amount
This is my
of,
first.
yeah, it's the first. And you suffered, just the whole experience, that it's not easy to get. I think it makes you
Yeah. It
appreciate it
makes it
more. Right.
it makes it so much more.
Yeah.
Anyone with $30,000 can go in and buy a Daytona. But when you wait and you are able to talk with the AD and you get
Yeah.
selected to buy one,
Yeah.
it makes the experience so much more. It's like, hold on,
In the world of
I see
instant
it. Yeah,
gratification, this,
I need to plug in my laptop real quick. Sorry.
yes, it's no problem. In this
There we
world
go.
that we live in, where everything is just fast, like drive through and instant. The kind of experience, getting something that's hard to get, it's hard to find. And I'm kind of glad that Rolex is doing, like, yes, it's bad news for most people, but I think everyone, if you want a Rolex,
Hmm.
Submariner especially, if you study watches, if you spend enough time in the hobby, uh, and if you go to the AD and you talk to them in a really competent way, they'll say, "Hey, you know what? This is a kind of a guy that could represent our brand well," and they'll give you
Yeah.
one. So
Yeah.
just just if you can't wait, then patience is virtue, guys.
Yeah.
Patience is virtue. You have to. Who else is going to teach you to be patient nowadays? No one. No one, because
Only Rolex.
only Rolex. It's almost like they don't want to make money. They rather give people this experience that's worth
Yeah.
more than money can probably buy.
Yeah, because then I think it's a really great decision on their part because then you
Yeah,
attach the brand with something significant to you.
yeah,
And that also elevates the brand in your mind. Like for grad school, I got a Rolex. For
yes,
when I had my first kid, I got a Rolex. And it attaches the brands to significant events in your life. And I
hmm
think that's a great plan by the brand. They're placing exclusivity over price. And
yeah,
I think that's a great idea for the brands. For if you're an average person trying to buy a watch, it might be a little bit more difficult,
yeah. And look,
especially.
they
Yeah.
have to be very selective with who they sell it
Yeah.
to, right? If they were just selling to anyone,
Hmm.
they wouldn't make it so special, right?
Yeah. I mean, like, for example, if you view this watch as a landmark moment in your life,
Yeah,
you're going to love the brand. But if you view this watch as a $3,000 flip, $4,000 flip,
yeah,
you're not going to care that much about the brand. So I think it's
yes,
really smart of Rolex to attach it with people achieving milestones, with
yeah,
people trying to do something. And I think that's a really good decision on their part. But I also heard,
yeah,
so I heard you got a Daytona. And what was
yes.
your story with that?
Well, I went in the first day that I went to buy my first Rolex. It was to get a Daytona,
Hmm.
right? So I didn't know anything about the game, the AD relationship stuff. I just went on the website. I fell in love with the Daytona, and I went to the store to buy it. And they said, "Oh, I'm sorry, those are waiting list only, and those are for like previous customers. So if you buy a watch today." We'll put you on the waiting list, and you'll probably be able to buy one in 3 years' time. So I said, okay, like yeah. What are like good alternatives? And I was offered a Hulk, a Batman, and just a black sub.
When was this?
That was like 5 years ago. Yeah, it was like 5 years ago. Yeah, and
Wow.
yeah, and I said, oh, well, let's go with the black one. And they said, sure, come put the deposit. Come next week to pick it up, and we'll put you on the waiting list for the Daytona. And I got the Submariner, and I kind of lived with it for 6 months. Completely, Daytona was completely off my mind. I was so satisfied with the sub that I didn't really even care if I get the Daytona later or not. But then I started learning more about history and how significant the Daytona was. I was like, holy mother of God!
I
Good
need
thing
it.
I'm on the waiting list for one. This is such a cool watch. And it just so happened that basically, and I went back. I also got Explorer 2, added the Explorer 2
Hmm.
because I thought, oh, that would be a perfect collection for me. Submariner, a GMT, an Explorer 2, and the Daytona as a chronograph. And it's like three watches, a black one, a white one, and the black and white.
Hmm.
And also, so that was a year after that. And then 2 years after that, my wife got the Yacht-Master. And then
Hmm.
3 years after that, on my 30th birthday, they surprised me with the Daytona. It was mind blowing. Yeah, I was very shocked. They actually offered me the black one, but I
Hmm.
I, I actually I denied it. I said, "Oh, I'm actually want the white
I
one
really want the
because
white one.
yeah, because I have the white Explorer too. I have the black Submariner, and the black and the white one is like a blend of those two watches, and they said, "Okay, yeah, yeah, no problem. We just
So how
we
much longer did you wait between the black offer and the white offer?
um I think like 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because look,
You're already at the
I
top.
love the black one, and I think like if you think about it from like greed perspective, right? Then you just take
Hmm.
whichever one you're offered, right? But from enthusiast perspective, if I went in on that day one to pick up the black one, I would have picked up the black one.
Hmm.
because but it was the white one that I fell in love with. I know the white one now is like more desirable because that's the panda and stuff, but I
Yeah.
don't really look at it that way. And same thing when I picked up my black dial Submariner, I picked it over Hulk and I picked it over Batman,
Hmm.
right? And I look back and I think because like right now the Hulk is so valuable, it's so crazy, it's
Hmm.
gonna be extremely expensive in the future. I think it's gonna be, especially because the new limited kind of,
Discernment.
yeah, the new Sermon, right, it is kind of toned down, whereas the Hulk has got that green dial. It's going to be very unique. I think it's going to be very special. But
Yeah.
I look at it and I remember that decision that day that I chose specifically. I had the green one in my hand and I thought, it's too loud, I can't wear it every day. Now green is like my color, everything is green. But look, it is what it is. And
Hmm.
I uh, I always look back and remind myself, look, I didn't go. I had a choice. Forget about the Hulk. Forget about the Batman. And yeah, I already chose not to have those. So it's the journey. It's the journey. But
So when did you get the Daytona? When did you actually pick it up?
I think it was in December of 2020, maybe
So
2019. Not
right
sure.
in leading up to the big peak.
Right, actually, right before it was increased in price. Actually, 2 weeks later, they raised the price on the Daytona. So I also got it right before. Yeah, it was like they increased the price by $800.
Hmm.
Yeah, but like I
I mean,
would
either way,
never.
you would have bought it.
Yeah, yeah. Either way, I would have bought it. Yeah, no, no, no. It's just it was the goal, and when I got like I freaking love it. Like obviously I can't wear it all the time. It's not $30,000 watch by any
Yeah,
means
it's not
of
a yeah.
imagination. It's not about, for me, it was never about like getting, and that's why I got the Explorer 1
Hmm.
over the Sermon,
Hmm.
because I love the Explorer 1 and what it stands for, especially going back to the 36 mil size.
Hmm.
Also, it gives me a different size in my collection. I have the 42, the 40, the 38. Daytona is actually 38.5. It says 41 or 40, but
But it's small.
it's very small. Yeah, it's very small. Yeah, but yeah, man, this is, and I got into collecting because, yeah, I mean, I just got lucky. I just got lucky the way things happened. It's just not lucky with other things, but that's the only thing that I kind of got lucky with.
So you
But
still own all of those. You haven't sold any of them.
yeah, no, no, I haven't sold anything. I have uh, uh, yeah, I still have everything. So I got my sub. That's my first watch. Just gonna focus. There
Focus.
we go.
Okay, the
Black.
Super case
Yep.
sub.
The fatty. The fatty.
It's a great watch.
Yeah. Freaking awesome. Love it. Still.
Looks
Well,
minty.
yeah. Well, in pictures it looks minted, but it's quite scratched up. Sorry, in the camera it looks minty, but it is quite scratched up. I haven't serviced it once. I don't even know how it's running. I never test my watches. I got my, yeah. That's the Daytona.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I'm jealous. It's a beautiful
Ah,
watch.
look, it is. It's not as. It is extremely hyped up online. I'm telling you, I met up with Bourbon Heart. I bring it with me to show people that, and even watch. I don't know if you've seen Gringa. Gringa was
Yeah,
on
she got
the.
a black one.
Yep. And she says the same thing. Like it's I don't know what was the reason that they got on the waiting list for it. Right.
Hmm.
Um I know that I got on the waiting list because when I opened up the website, I thought they were available, and I was like, "Oh, that's a cool looking watch. Maybe I should buy it." But it's not all that it's hyped to be.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a great watch. It's not a $35,000
No,
watch, but at $12,000 or twelve
it's a
five, whatever it's
great
retailing for now, that's a
thirteen
great
thousand
watch.
dollar watch. It's an amazing watch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
maybe
it's
17,000, but
yeah,
$30,000. I mean, you're talking about solid gold GMTs. You're talking
yeah.
about solid gold Daytonas.
Meteorite dial GMT Master 2.
Yeah, and like I think that is one of my like modern grill watches
Yeah.
because that white dial with that
Jeez.
Pepsi bezel, I think that just looks so amazing. I think that's a beautiful watch. It's
Oh
40,
yeah.
42, $43,000, but
Oh yeah.
I would have that
Oh
watch
my
over a
god.
Daytona
That
any day.
thing.
You know?
Those are like those watches. That's where it gets into a magical territory.
Yeah,
Whereas this is like a hunt kind of thing. Like, can you
yeah.
hunt it down? It's like it's
Can
not.
you get it?
Yeah, it's just like it's an ordinary watch, but it's just
Mhm.
freaking hard to get. And I think, look, I think uh now, right, I was waiting for it like 3 years, right?
Mhm.
Probably now it's going to be much more difficult to get. But look, you started a relationship with the AD. If it's something that you want, you should keep
Yeah,
working with them. I think, but now it's going to be more difficult. But you
yeah,
know
it
what?
definitely is.
I think part of the reason that I got it was because I did mention that it's
'30th birthday.
I do like stories, and
Mhm.
one of the stories is like it's a Daytona. It's got three rings, right?
Mhm.
And I
30
was
years.
turning 30. Yeah, I was turning 30, and I had this idea in my mind: if I could get the Daytona for 30 years, and also let me show you the ring. You know,
Is
so
it
I
a
also
Cartier Trinity ring
yes,
with the three
my
medals?
yes, no, it's so my mom got me no, this one second when it focuses. It's a Trinity
Oh yeah, it
with
is.
two
Yeah,
white gold and a ceramic, just like the ceramic on the Daytona.
Daytona.
Yeah, it's got the ring, the Daytona ring. So it's
That's
just
cool.
it is a crazy story. I mean, that's why I would never sell it. I mean, people said like, "Hey, if you ever want to sell it," I think it's just it's
There's
the
too
story of
much.
my life. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just too much associated with it. I would, yeah,
That's why I really love what you're doing right now. We're just hearing the stories of watches, the stories
yeah,
of people collecting watches. Because I think storytelling is a skill that is undervalued in today's
yeah,
day and age. You have books, you have audiobooks, you have videos, but really just telling stories and talking to people, I think there's a tremendous amount of power in that.
yeah,
In being able to tell a story well and being able
yeah.
to, talk about yourself, being able to talk about things that are going on. I think storytelling is a super underrated
It's
skill
all
to have.
it's all about I don't hide the fact that I'm not super technical guy in
Hmm.
I don't know all the geeky stuff. Although I actually, you know what? I'm gonna start learning a little bit more technical because now I'm YouTube full time. So I
YouTube
figured,
full
okay,
time.
yeah, YouTube full time. So I figured, you know what? I should know all the history, all the nitty gritty. I have the books, but it's like fiction. So
Hmm.
why not start building up a risk like books about watches? Just know the history.
Hmm.
So
Well,
I
even
started.
because
Yeah.
a lot of those books are they're harder to find. Like Hodinky does have like some guides on
Hmm.
certain references, but like because you have this platform and you have this audience, you can
Yeah.
make your own reference guides. You can do your research. You can make your own videos. That'd be
Yeah.
fantastic content to have.
Yeah.
I mean, Hodinky did it really well, but
Yeah.
they had that huge lineup of like 30 Submariners, and
Yeah. That's
that's hard to compete
I
against. But
mean,
still,
there's probably some collector has that, right? So
yeah,
once my platform grows a little more, I probably would be able to get in touch with
work
him
with
and
them.
yeah,
Yeah,
work with the people. So I think it's all about that building relationships.
yeah.
Yeah, and talking about stories. Talk, and I'm more interested in the stories of people and why they get. And
Hmm.
look, you and getting a Daytona for 30th birthday. That is something cool. And you are
Yeah.
26 now?
Yeah, I turned 26 last Friday.
Look, you should throw that out. Talk to your AD.
I
Maybe
will.
that
I'm
that
gonna do
would
that
actually
next.
Yeah, there you go. So that would be also you're probably gonna go for PhD at that time. Could be a good graduation from
Mhm.
masters, applying for
PhD.
PhD, 30 years. That's a perfect watch to get there.
Yeah.
If you are looking, if you are trying to get a Daytona, something you should start
Yeah, I
thinking.
think
Yeah,
I like the date. I mean, I really like the Daytona. I think it's
yeah,
a fantastic watch
yeah. It's
at
just not.
$13,000.
Yeah, at 13. Yeah.
Yeah, like I think because this is something that I also wanted to ask you. So
Mm,
when you start going with to brands above Rolex, like when you start
yeah,
looking at APs at Aquanauts,
yeah.
how much more competitive is it there? Is it like the same thing but all jacked up? Because an AP is only $20,000,
You know,
and that's the price of a two tone Daytona.
yeah, then you're getting into a different kind of collecting. I think
Hmm.
once you're getting into there, actually AP, yeah, I would actually categorize AP. AP exited in some ways. They exited the kind of the holy trinity,
Hmm.
because they like the Patek, Vacheron, Breguet, right?
Hmm.
They're more concerned about making watches that are have some kind of horological significance, right? A lot
Hmm.
of people they're getting those Patek chronographs or the Patek complications. They get them for complications and the significance that those watches have in the history of the horology. Not so much to
Hmm.
celebrate event in their personal life. Although it's possible to mix those two, right?
Hmm.
And also like rarity, how rare those pieces are compared to like something like a Submariner, right? Submariner used to be a
It's
common
a dime a
watch.
dozen. Yeah.
Yeah, they're dime a dozen, but Rolex is pulling back on the stock.
Hmm.
They're making them a little bit more. They're making them more special in some would say like an artificial way,
Yeah.
whereas making a Patek is difficult. It's just there's just
Purely
so
objectively difficult.
yeah, it's just difficult because there's not enough people who qualified to make them, right?
Hmm.
It's there's different reasons. Same thing with FP Journes. Um, you're getting into a different category of watch collecting, I believe,
Okay.
but and also a different kind of stories. Now you can start blending a story
Hmm.
of now also Rolex, although it's overshadowed by uh, you know they were the first ones to create a date just right, a watch that just has a
Yeah.
date and the watch. They're the ones to create the oyster case. They're the
Hmm.
first ones to create the GMT movement. Now the sky dweller, the way they integrate, so
The
they're
perpetual
the
calendar, not the
right,
annual calendar.
yeah, so they have so many inventions of their own, but their inventions are more practical, right? They're
Yeah.
like, well, a oyster case, that is such a
Hmm.
usable thing compared to like a tourbillon. Like you see, it's a completely
Yeah.
different. Like do you
What
really
did?
need a tourbillon? Like do you need to make the
Yeah.
watch just
A
that little
triple
bit?
axis
Yeah,
tourbillon.
does it have to be that bit more more accurate? Not really. Like what's the pra- practical terms? But they're
Yeah.
different. They're completely different beasts, and but very interesting blend. But you have to look at like why does someone collect uh,
Hmm.
Breguets, tourbillons over Submariners or something like that? So
Yeah.
I think that's where the interesting story is the person. Well, the watches could also be interesting, and
Yeah.
as I'm learning a little bit more about horology, I think I find interest there too. You know,
Yeah. I
so
remember
mm,
it's. I mean, because my experience with watches is still pretty short.
yes,
Since I bought my first watch, it's been less than a year, and I'm
yeah,
just sort of still trying to catch up on everything, learn as much as I can. And yeah, this past 2 weeks ago, I was in Chicago, and
mm,
that's when I went to the AP store there, and they're just completely cleaned out.
oof.
Did AP do anything significant
Well,
innovation wise?
I think the most significant thing that AP did in horology, although they're known for their ultra thin movements, they did a lot
Hmm.
of development in ultra thin technology. A lot of
Hmm.
their actually perpetual calendars, they're ultra thin. But the most significant is that they made steel a luxury metal,
Yeah.
right?
This the Royal Oak
The Royal Oak,
Genta.
it changed the game because before that, the watch, like they made a steel watch and sold it more than the gold piece, and that was revolutionary. People were kind of shocked, but like, what
Mhm.
the? How can you
How's
do
that?
that?
What's going on?
Yeah, what is happening? And yes, it took a while to catch on, but I think right now, those investments that they made 30 years ago are starting to pay off because people
Yeah,
only
they're
now
paying
like,
dividends now.
yeah, yeah. That's why their brand has really exploded lately. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, they're known for a lot of stuff. Yeah, they are at the same time kind of killing their brand with the Royal Oak and overseas, and they're because they're gonna become known as the as the Royal Oak brand and not
Hmm.
as the uh, Audemars PK of the good old days. Although I don't know,
Yeah.
the Code 11, wait, Code 1159.
1159.
Yeah, it's not good now. People hate on it right now, but it could the same in the same way vein. People hated on the Royal Oak, so it
When it
might
first came
flip.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, it might flip.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because something that I started looking into, because
mm,
like I love watches, and
yeah,
a lot of the like a Pepsi resale prices are really high,
yeah,
and so I started looking at some other watches like the
mm,
Royal Oak
yes,
and the Aquanaut. The Aquanaut, I think on the rubber strap is only like $22,000, which is
very nice. Yeah,
not too far away from a
yeah.
lot of these other watches. But if
Right,
it's like
why
an
not
8 year
get
wait list,
right? Why not get the Aquanaut or a Royal Oak on the rubber or some kind of overseas for not much
hmm,
more than the Pepsi over retail, right?
yeah,
But you do have to have a relationship. Just that you go to AP, they're not gonna sell you any kind of Royal
yeah.
Oak. They're
So how would you build a relationship with AP? You buy a few 1159s.
look. I think at this point you need to know someone. So you have a collection, and
Hmm.
you need to find someone who has purchased an AP before, and they can put a
Do
good
it for
word
you.
in for you. That's the only freaking way. Because I was at a party
Hmm.
one time, and there was a gentleman who had AP that he bought. He had
Hmm.
the 15450, the 37 size,
The new
white dial.
37.
Yeah, beautiful Royal Oak. Yeah,
Yeah, I saw that watch at the salesperson at AP was
mm.
wearing that. The
Wow,
pattern on that dial looks
jeez.
amazing. It's very bright. It's not a flat white.
Yeah.
It sparkles.
Oh
It
my god.
glows. It
It
shines.
looks like
It's
it's encrusted with diamonds or something, and
yeah,
it's just, man. And so what he said he would vouch for me and will be able to place me on the waiting list. But at that time, I thought, man, I would never be able to buy this. Why even bother? But I kind of lost his contact. I had it somewhere in the phone. I
hmm,
saved his phone number and I lost the phone number. But I this is the only way to do it. I think nowadays it's the
yeah.
you need to know someone who has it, and that's why when you're
Has
part of the
purchase history.
community, look, I want to promote kind of ethical buying. I hate the
Hmm.
flipping games. I don't
Yeah,
like it because I think it's just people are buying it for
it
the
kills the
wrong
brand. It
kills
kills
the
the
brand,
experience.
kills the experience. It's all the wrong reasons. I don't like the
Yeah,
games. I like people should like I want people to be more patient. I want people to build their relationships and buy watches that for good reasons.
yeah. I
So
mean,
I yeah.
yeah. My experience buying the Submariner was
Mm,
so much greater than the Day Date or the Yacht-Master, where it was literally as if I bought something for $5 off Amazon. You
yeah.
open it up, there it is. But
Yeah.
buying the Submariner and picking up the Submariner was such a better experience. It
Yes.
was, it's like this is how you should buy a
Yeah.
$10,000 watch. A
People
$10,000 watch shouldn't just show up at your door.
yeah. It's just people don't understand it because they think, oh,
Yeah,
you can go into Omega and buy any color Seamaster 300 any day of the week. Why not just do that? Well, that is kind of the problem because you
yeah,
could do that. It is not a It is not an experience. It is a experience that's fleeting. It's not. You're not gonna
Yeah.
remember it. You're not gonna appreciate it as much as you would
Yeah.
with this with something that's more difficult to get. So we're
Yeah.
also missing the Tudor. The Tudor.
Yeah. So I got this Tudor
Hmm.
because I went in to get the bracelet on the Submariner adjusted because
Yes.
the heat, swelling, things not swelling
Yes.
anymore. And then I just saw this in the window, not in the
Mm.
window, in the little cabinet, and I was like, well, I've always wanted a GMT.
Yes.
I always wanted a Pepsi, and then there's this Tudor. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna buy it. And I
Yeah.
know, like, I went on to JJ's Gentleman's Hangouts,
Mm.
his thing, and I was asking,
Yeah.
should I buy a Tudor, a Speedmaster, or a Platinum Cellini? That's for kind of out of left
Oh,
field. And they all said get the Speedmaster. I think you also said get the Speedmaster, but
really?
I don't know. Well, I don't know if you said. I
No,
heard
I don't think.
everybody said Speedmaster.
Yeah, I don't think I would say Speedmaster, but maybe I did. But no, I'm not a. I do like the Speedmaster, but
Hmm.
I mean, in your collection, you didn't really need. It's like the chronograph is one of the most useless complication because I just think a diving bezel is a little bit better
Hmm.
for timing
Quick
thing.
timing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just it's a little bit better. And knowing my Daytona, I never use the chronograph function.
Hmm.
I guess it's a cool fidget. But how much I love my my Explorer 2, I know how useful the complication is. So
Yeah.
man, and
Yeah. I
this
mean, I'm
actually
always.
wears perfectly, exactly the same as the
Yeah.
Explorer 2.
Yeah. I'm always on business calls with my colleagues in Europe and in China,
Mm,
and like in China, I know it's +3, flip the sign, but in
yeah,
Europe, it's a little bit more math. But like here, I can see that it's like 11:35 instantly
nice.
with the watch. So I think it's 11:35, 10:35.
Hey.
And yeah, and I love that. So yeah, I guess comparing the Tudor with the Omega, it's not a fair
Mm,
comparison.
mm,
You're not going to buy the Tudor and not the Omega. If you want both, you're going to buy both
yeah,
eventually. And I think I am definitely going to buy both eventually.
yeah.
But like you said with the
Speedy is nice to
Omega,
have.
yeah, there's no rush to buy the Speedy though.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Actually, like right now, they're a little bit too expensive, so I would hold
Yeah.
off. I think they're gonna get cheaper. They're only gonna get cheaper
Yeah.
from now. Knowing the history of
Omega
Omega,
and what they do.
and actually knowing with what changes Rolex is doing with Tudor, like
Hmm.
opening up boutique, just releasing a boutique only edition. I think right now is the good time to get the Tudor.
Yeah.
When everybody is yawning, saying, "Oh, it's boring," grab it. It couldn't be cheaper.
Yeah.
I think this is the cheapest they will get.
Yeah. I bought this at list though, so I'm gonna get burned a little bit unless I
It's
hold it on for
okay.
a few years.
Is this the
But
same AD that got you
same
the sub?
AD.
You're
Yeah.
building a relationship. That's a perfect piece to
Yeah.
get.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I love it. It's a beater watch. Like that photo that you had up there, that
Yeah.
was I picked up the watch from the
Mm,
AD and then I went straight to my polo
nice.
chuckers. So, and I was wearing this and I was tacking up horses and I wasn't
Mm,
scared to scratch it versus a Submariner, I'm
yeah.
terrified to scratch. And with this watch,
Got
I'm
that
not afraid to
green
beat on it.
too.
I'm not afraid to
Yeah.
hurt it.
And this watch can
Yeah.
withstand all. And actually, the scratches it will get. You're gonna learn to appreciate. Oh man, you're gonna appreciate the scratches, especially
Hmm.
in the aluminum bezel. That's going to
Yeah.
look amazing.
Yeah.
I kind of this is kind of the way I wear the Explorer too, just banging it up as much as possible. But
Building
man, just
memories.
yeah, I dinged it really hard again. I was in Paris and I was walking on the sidewalk, kind of, and
Hmm.
there was a really sexy girl walking towards me, and we banged their watches against each other, and I have this ding on the side of the case. You could really hear the watches like make a ring, and then since
Hmm.
then I was like, okay, fuck it, let's just enjoy the bloody thing, and yeah. Look, and actually, back when I got it, these were very undesirable. I think, yeah, I think you could probably pick this up for the same price as, and it's not much better built than the Tudor. The only difference
Mhm.
is the micro extension.
Bracelet.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
bracelet micro extension. That's it. So actually, I do like people hate the that it doesn't have the rotating bezel, but
Mhm.
I like it because the dirt cannot get underneath there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but look,
You know, yeah.
you
This
can't
has a
have.
rotating bezel. I don't think
Yeah,
I'm going to use it.
it,
If it's
ne-
crooked, it looks
you
weird.
never fucking use the bezel, right? You never
Yeah.
rotate. How many times have you rotated the bezel that was not for
Only
like
to play
fun?
with it.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, people hate the Explorer 2. Actually, that's not having the rotating bezel on the Explorer 2 makes it good for the buyer because people who don't know that you don't need it, you can actually save a lot of
Mhm.
money by not having. Oh
Yeah, because the
man,
GMT is a lot more expensive. Like, I mean,
yeah.
like what my friend asked me is like, are you scared that, or at least are you concerned? Are you self conscious that one day you'll wear the Tudor and some guy will wear a Pepsi next to you? And I don't think so. I think there are two different types of watches. The
Mm,
Pepsi is a $20,000 watch at resale, and you know what? Great for that guy. He has a lot more money than I do. I can't afford to daily around or destroy a $20,000 watch as I would wear this watch. So
I think, man, I think the aluminum. Here, I have this theory. I think actually Rolex might go back out of the ceramics. Like,
really,
yeah, I just think. Look, I think Omega overdone it. They put the ceramic on
the
everything.
dial,
Yeah, it's just, and
yeah,
also there's a case. There's a ceramic case, dial, bezel. It's like, wait, guys, just calm down. There's way too
yeah.
much
The dark
ceramic.
side of the moon was a ceramic
Yeah,
case.
it's just like, what's next? A ceramic movement? I think, actually, I like the fact that the bezel kind of ages on the aluminum. It kind of changes color over time. Whereas ceramic, if
Mhm.
you ding the ceramic bezel on the pet on
Like
the, it's shattered, and you have to get a
yeah,
new
it's
one,
gone.
and you lose that history because, like, okay, if you ding it on the aluminum, you can get the new one,
Mhm.
but you can keep the
The
old
old,
one. Yeah, you can
yeah,
continue wearing it, and it can continue collect that history. So,
yeah.
and actually, it looks better. In the sunlight, the aluminum, that iodized aluminum, it looks
Mhm.
freaking gorgeous.
It looks
Whereas
deeper.
yes, the colors, they're just, yeah, they're richer.
Yeah,
Whereas the other one, it's very subdued and
yeah. The what's it called? The ceramic. It looks shiny. It looks good, but
it yeah,
it's not as, I wouldn't say it has as much history, not as much character as
it looks like
a,
flexing. It's a little bit too
yeah,
flexy-ish, and it's the same thing with the with Speedmaster, sorry, the Seamaster 300 with the
Seamaster 300.
all, yeah, with the all ceramics. They look so luxurious.
Yeah.
But now Oris just came out for $1,000, and they have a ceramic bezel and a ceramic dial, and they were like, "Ooh, my god!" So everyone is doing ceramic. So
Everyone can do ceramic now.
yeah, everyone can do ceramic for $1,000. How that's not
Yeah.
very luxurious,
That's
and
getting kind of cheap. It's like quartz. When quartz first came out, it was high end. It was
yeah,
nice. Now, it's
no,
cheap.
every
It's a
micro
lot
brand
cheaper.
can make it. So it's just like,
Yeah.
oh, they jumped the
Hmm.
gun. They jumped the gun on the ceramic. They thought it was good before it might look good, but is it timeless? That's
Yeah. I
the
mean, they
question.
also jumped the gun on quartz, right? Omega
Yes.
adopted
Oh
widely
yeah.
adopted quartz throughout their entire lineup.
Yeah. So many
Maybe
quartz.
this is a pattern.
Yeah, it's just that's why it's actually good that Rolex is very slow to change. They're very
Hmm.
slow. They're like, is this ceramic thing? Is this gonna be good long term?
Yeah,
And
and
it's
Amiga also came out with like a heritage Seamaster, right?
yeah,
That's like, I think
with
it has
like
an aluminum bezel,
faded
looks like a
loom.
black bay.
Yeah, yeah. They have everything. Like, just every kind of variation, and but they won't get rid of the helium escape valve. It's like,
Yeah,
guys, excuse me, like they're saying, oh, we're keeping it for the because it's the heritage purposes. dude, you're making every which color. You're
Yeah.
changing the ceramic, doing this and that, and that's the only thing. The worst thing is the thing that you decided to keep for the heritage purposes. Come on.
Why do they have a helium escape valve if it's only rated for 300 meters? Do they need it for 300 meters?
That's a freaking good question. Actually, it makes no sense. For saturation diving, and also it's not really clever because like Rolex, they have a built-in. You don't have to unscrew anything,
Yeah,
so it's not even like a good technology.
it doesn't look that good. I mean,
It
like, first
looks
of all,
bad.
yeah, the
I don't
Submariner and
know.
the Seamaster have the same depth rating, but
Yes,
one of them has a helium escape valve, but the other one doesn't. Does it mean that they're trying to compensate for something? Is there
blows my
other?
mind.
It's like, what's going on here?
Yeah,
It's
I mean, Sea Dweller has a helium escape valve, and you don't have to unscrew it anything. It just
yeah.
works on its own. So beats me. I like their price range, especially at discount. But man, they seem to be a little bit lost. They seem
They
to be
got
a
to
little
clean
bit
up.
yeah.
Even, but the new Speedmaster at 7 grand.
Expensive. Very
That's a lot of
expensive.
money.
It's a
That's a
lot,
lot of
yeah.
money.
If it goes for 5,000 at like discount, that would be amazing watch because
Hmm.
it's got the history, heritage, it's got everything except the price a little bit too much.
Yeah.
Um if you can I would love a Speedmaster in my collection just to have something to put on straps and just fuck
Hmm.
around with. It's a perfect watch to mess around with.
Would you get Hesselite or Sapphire?
It doesn't matter. Whichever one is cheaper, I think.
Okay, the Hesselite.
Yeah, I just the movement is not that great. Even yesterday we looked at the Ed White with the
Hmm.
3-2-1
Three, two,
movement.
one.
Yeah, even though it's finished a little bit more, they didn't put the blue screws. They have a
But you
little
can
bit.
make a YouTube video on it. You can look in the back with the macro lens.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I'm waiting for a macro lens. Once I get my macro
Yeah.
lens, I'm gonna start making some vids. It's just they all sold out.
Oh
Can you
yeah, because
believe it?
this is
The
the one
COVID.
that.
I'm on the waiting list. I'm on the waiting list for a macro lens.
Yeah, this is the one that I think I told you about. This is the Laowa 2.5 to 5x.
Oh, damn. 5.
So
Damn.
so it goes to 5x. So you can see. So like when I was looking at when I had this lens on my Yacht-Master,
Mm.
you could see like the overspray of the red paint from the
Ooh.
seconds hand onto the center
Do
column.
you have some pictures? Can you email me? I'll add them to a
Yeah,
slideshow. Yeah,
yeah.
that'd be
I made a
freaking
video
awesome.
on it that has a few clips of it macro in the beginning. I can just send that link to you.
Yeah, send me. I'll pull it out. I'll clip it here.
Yeah, but
That'd be
it's
awesome.
yeah, it's
Damn.
yeah. Macro lenses are great, and I think your choice of getting the Canon RF 100 mm is also good because this doesn't have image stabilization, and you kind of need that, especially when you're
Ooh.
zooming in that much.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard. It's hard, man. Photography, just in general, is hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Whew.
Yeah.
I think this is good. I think we covered a lot of ground. I'm gonna
Hmm.
try to edit this somehow, make it into a video. I don't know when it's going to air, but I'm gonna keep it in the back pocket. Let me actually second see here the full collection. I think. Let's see. Oh, we do have actually the
Oh yeah.
Casio, the god tier mate that we didn't talk about. Uh, Now, is that your first watch that you had for before you got the date chip?
No.
Or when did you get it? Or
No.
did you get it as a placeholder or just for fun?
I bought
Five in
this
the
af
box, one in the wrist.
I bought this after I got the sub.
Mm.
So, I was like,
Wow.
well, it's like I can't wear a day date around
Yeah.
every day. And then it's like, it's like a they kind of match, I got Casio God's here, gold colored, and then a
Nice.
Rolex solid
God
gold. And
tier, mate.
it's I like it, it's like the two ends of the spectrum. You have the
Yeah.
Casio, which is a $60 watch, then you have a
Yeah.
day date, which is tens of thousands of
Yeah.
dollars. And I think they both have a similar amount of wrist presence just because no one sees these Casios nowadays, and
Yeah.
no one expects to see a solid gold watch. But like, if I see someone wearing this Casio and I see someone wearing a Day-Date, I think their enthusiasm towards watches are probably at a similar level. Because if you make
Yeah.
the conscious decision to go with this almost an analog, this digital
Yeah.
Casio, then
Yeah.
you
Look,
obviously like something about it.
there's so much more respect because if you just go on Amazon and Google watches, you're probably gonna get like Michael Kors or Daniel
Mhm.
Wellington or MVMT, because that's like you just fell for marketing.
They paid
Whereas
all the advertising.
whereas if you get Casio, it's just like, oh, you made a conscious decision. You actually a good, like, because that's a quality watch. I mean, Casio,
Yeah.
they know what they're doing. Yeah.
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 For this watch, you have to choose it. If you don't look for it, you might not find it.
Mm.
Well, it's a lot of people also know about it, but
I mean,
I
look,
don't know. Yeah, I
still
love it.
not a lot of people. Look, I was on the train. There's a lot of people with just really bad watches. Just whenever I
Yeah.
see, I do see Casios too, and not the gold one. There's
Mhm.
the just the steel one, very popular. The plastic one.
Yeah.
This is the one that Nico sent me. One second. So I still have it in. Well, I tried it on, but I tried to
Mhm.
keep it pristine, minty, just in case the relationship breaks down, and I just flip. It's like, fuck that Nico guy, Then I try to sell
Take
it.
it back.
Yeah,
But yeah, I love this watch.
yeah.
It's and I feel like because I have the Day-Date. I feel like I'm not trying to have a gold watch and try to pass it off as something that it's not. But
Yeah.
I really love it. It's a fun watch to have. I think it starts conversations because people. It's such a watch of the 80s. It's such a vintage looking watch just because it was so popular back then.
Oh yeah. The history
And yeah,
behind
I
it.
just
Actually, look, I don't know much Casio history, but there is a lot of heritage in that watch.
mhm.
I do also have like a G-Shock, just a regular rubber G-Shock,
Mhm.
as well. Kind of, because you need something to balance out. You can't just have your ego go completely out of control. You have to look
Yeah,
out after
you have
your
to be
mind.
humble.
Yeah, you have to be humble. Mm,
Yeah.
mm.
So yeah, I
Where
mean,
do you
this is
wear it? Where
this.
do you wear the Casio?
I wear the Casio probably more than the four Rolexes that I have
Mm,
because I have a MacBook and it has that aluminum
yeah.
body, so like I already scratched my Day-Date on it once, and after that happens, no more watches near the laptop.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, my Submariner is extremely scratched up from the laptop,
Yeah,
the clasp,
but
the
then
clasp.
with like this watch, I don't care about it.
Mm,
With the Tudor, it's already
mm.
I destroyed it playing polo the first time. So,
Nice.
like I think in the future I'm probably gonna wear the Tudor and the Casio the most, just because
Yes.
the Tudor I don't want to have to deal with setting the time if it goes dead,
Yes.
and it's a GMT function. I love how useful that is, and yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen to other these four. I mean, I think they're gonna see a lot less wrist time, but I also just love looking at them.
Yeah. The collection, man.
Yeah,
The journey continues, and these
yeah.
they're water sealed. They're gonna be fine.
You can use them. They're not gonna
Mm,
die out on you. So
mm,
they're all durable. I mean, it's a Rolex. It's gonna survive anything,
exactly.
almost anything.
And then that Tudor is also going to survive everything.
Yeah,
If it survives the polo game, then it can survive anything, man.
yeah. I didn't write off quite as hard as I normally do with it on because I didn't want to
Yeah.
scratch it up too badly. But we did get some contact in there, and I kind of like try to avoid it.
Next time you have to lean into it. You have to-
Yeah, to get a nice big gouge and say that was from playing polo.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. Exactly. Oh, this was during my first game of polo.
Yeah,
Or
this is when playing against Cambridge.
yes. Exactly. Yes. You know, you have to get it nicely used.
Build some great memories with it.
Yeah, and you
Yeah,
know that's the
versus
cool.
yeah.
Look,
I don't
that's
think I'd do that
how.
with a sub.
Yeah, no, with the sub you have to be a little bit more careful. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would wear now that you have a tutor. Now you should,
Hmm.
like in the
Beat
old
on it
days, right?
hard.
Yeah, I mean the Rolexes used to be built the way that Tudor is built. It's
Yeah.
just they're overbuilding them right now for for luxury purposes. But
Yeah. It's
there's no,
$9,000 now. They
yeah,
have to overbuild it a little bit.
yeah, and they're also classing up the tutors,
Yeah. I love it. I love this tutor. I think
Mm.
I didn't even know this existed until like a week ago.
What,
Because,
dude?
like I don't because I was
Actually,
focused on the Pepsi. I wanted the Rolex.
dude, actually, you know what? That might be for the better because when that tutor came out, it was going for massive over retail price. They were over
Oh,
retailing it.
really?
Yeah, they were selling. They were impossible. Actually, they were impossible to get until now. Actually, the
Hmm.
first iteration it had some date wheel problem, and
I heard
because
Nico talking about that.
yeah, and because of the date wheel problem, so it used to be that Tudor gave 2 years warranty, but because they had
Hmm.
that issue, they actually
5 years.
yeah, they changed it to 5 years. So you had a better option. So I think you probably saved yourself a
Lucked
lot of
out.
mental pain. Yeah.
you
So yeah, so
know,
it went up to
yeah.
like I think the retail is like what 4,000.
Yeah, 40, 50.
Yeah, so it went up to like 5,500 and then it dropped down to like 375
30.
and now it's
Yeah.
stabilizing again, yeah.
Yeah.
So you got it at a really fair price. It's
Yeah. I got it at
actually
a
I
good
think it's
time
going to go
too.
back up, yeah.
I mean, it's hard to imagine it. I mean, I don't care about the price of this watch, but like,
Yeah.
I think that there is no GMT between
Mm.
like $4,000 and $20,000
That's better than that.
for yeah.
Yeah.
Like Rolex is too expensive, but this is the perfect balance of everything you need and nothing you don't. And Omega does make a GMT, but I don't really like how
Well,
it looks.
they put it
It's like
into a wrong case.
they put it into every case.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like what are you going to get? A Seamaster GMT? That doesn't make much
Yeah,
sense.
it's like
You're
no.
gonna get what? Like they don't have a dedicated GMT line, like a Speedmaster GMT. That's weird,
Yeah.
right? They don't have a dedicated line for GMT. It's
Yeah, I don't
only
think there's a GMT in that price range between this and the Pepsi.
yeah. No, it's true. I mean that's so iconic and well proportioned.
Yeah.
That's probably the best option. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love it. Also apparently also I just found this out
Mm,
when the Black Bay was first released,
yeah.
well, when it was re-released in the 2016 or 2017,
Mm,
it had a 70-hour power reserve, and the Submariners back then didn't,
yeah.
right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, my Submariner is 48 hours. Yeah.
So it's really interesting looking at the little brother kind of
Yeah.
punching upward, and 70 hours right here.
Yeah. Oh man. It
Yeah,
is
that was a cool story.
yeah. Yeah, Rolex, I mean it is hard to make a very well regulated watch with that much power. So they
Hmm.
did have to hold back. And actually I think actually Rolex does have some problems with their 72 hours of power reserve because
Oh.
yeah, because to certify to chronometer,
Hmm.
it is quite hard, and that's why actually Tudor wasn't certified to the chronometer rating, so that's why they're able to. No, it's complicated. It's complicated, but
It's
hey,
a lot of math, a lot of
yeah,
engineering.
yeah, it's a lot of reasons why they wouldn't do it, but hey, I think man, if they can do a if they can put the GMT into Black Bay 58,
Hmm.
that's
30
it. I
and
mean, that's
39 mil size.
yeah, that's game over.
Yeah.
Game over for other brands because they will just never catch up to.
Why wouldn't they do that?
Well, they're probably holding off. They're holding off. They're trying to sell as many as possible in the 42 and they'll bring it down.
Hmm.
Just the same way I think why they did the bronze with the glide lock first. I think because if they do it
Oh
in
yeah.
steel first, nobody will buy the bronze. But this way they can kind
Mhm.
of double dip. They can sell it in bronze.
And then sell it in steel.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
see,
Yeah,
it's
this clasp is something I don't really like this clasp on this watch, especially
mhm.
moving from Rolex
Yeah,
to this, which is, a lot of it's just tension fit with the ceramic beads.
yeah.
No easy link, no glide lock.
Yeah, what's
It's
interesting is actually you can do it with a toothpick. You can push it out.
yeah.
Yeah, so you could do it. It's not as bad, but yeah, it's not an easy link. Easy link would be
Yeah.
blow it. It would blow it out of the water. But
Yeah.
maybe,
So I'm
maybe,
debating. I think this would be good on a NATO.
yeah, maybe
I think on a NATO strap this could look pretty cool, or on a
a
leather
rubber
strap
strap
to
could work. Yeah,
follow. Yeah.
yeah, rubber strap could be
Or
nice.
also
I
just the
think.
bracelet also looks great.
Yeah, no, the bracelet is amazing. Actually, try playing around with the toothpick, just changing it. I
Yeah.
think actually, if you do it a few times, you can get it to the point where you can do it very quickly.
Hmm.
And because
To
like
quickly adjust it.
yeah, yeah, it's a tutor. You don't have to worry about oh, you're gonna scratch
Scratching
that
it.
area.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like it's your tutor. Just
Yeah.
have fun with it. Get
Yeah.
it nicely scratched up.
Nice and worn in with a lot of
Yeah,
memories on it.
yeah. Just having
Yeah.
fun. I mean, that's what it's all, and that's why tutor is actually they have a little bit more fun colors, right? They got the
Hmm.
little red triangle on their Black Bay 58, the black one. They have the blue color.
The
Obviously, I don't
burgundy
know.
bezels.
Yeah, and now they released the silver one, the bronze one. Man, there's so many variants. The ceramic, well, the ceramic one. Man, they're coming out with a lot of stuff. Actually, I have a viewer who just collects tutors.
Hmm.
That's an interesting way to do it. Actually, by the way, the new Tudor Diet Panda, which I call the
Hmm.
chronograph, that could actually be a good option. Maybe even better than the Speedmaster.
Hmm.
Something to think about. Actually, they're on the waiting list. They go over retail right now. So if you want to add a
Really?
chronograph, yeah, that could be a really good way to do it. A
Yeah.
white one, or the black one with white eyes. It's either way, they're freaking amazing.
Yeah, I
Freaking
think Tudor's
amazing.
a good watch brand where
Mm.
you can own Rolexes,
Yeah.
but you can also wear Tudors and you can just beat them up because it's
Yeah.
not like because this is 4,000, the GMT is 20, and it's you can wear this hard
Oh yeah.
and not feel
Oh yeah.
guilty.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about that guilt-free and fun. If you're not wearing it, if you're not having fun, like
Yeah,
if you're just too concerned about oh what the price is going to be, then it takes away from
yeah, the
your
experience.
the experience. Yeah, it's like I like the story. Where did you wear the watch? What did you do with it? Why did you get it? And then if you like got it and you can't wear it, it takes away from the story of the
Yeah,
watch.
or
And
like
mhm,
yeah, what I really love is like the experiences you have with it. So like if you're like going out with friends or you're
mm,
going out, you're going diving, you're going like
yeah.
I went skydiving and I took off my date just beforehand because obviously it's kind of a
Ooh,
risk factor.
yeah.
But
With the
like
tutor, you wouldn't
I
do
don't
it.
want what?
With the tutor,
Yeah, and
you wouldn't do it.
Tutor, I just leave it on. I'm
Yeah,
not afraid to bang it up.
yeah,
But like if I'm out doing something and if I'm out making experiences, making memories, I don't want to be worried about my watch.
yeah,
I want to be focused in the present and not focused on is this going to scratch my
yeah,
Submariner or is this going to
yeah.
destroy my day dates?
Is it gonna ruin the bezel? Is it gonna crack the
Yeah.
bezel? Ah,
And so that's why I like the tutor. I
yeah,
think I think there's a time and place for Rolex and tutor.
yeah,
And right now, for a lot of things that's going on, it's the tutor. I don't want to
yeah.
worry about some of the things that are going on.
Dude, check out the Diet Panda. The Diet Panda
I
watch.
will. That sounds like a great
That
watch.
could
I'll
be
check that
yeah,
out.
automatic. It's not too big and it looks freaking amazing. And it could be extremely collectible, but you can also just have a lot of fun with it. Just wear it, just wear
Yeah,
it. And also the cool thing
just
is
use
it
it.
does have the screw down chronograph. So if you wear it into the water, right, you cannot accidentally press the button of the chronograph, which
Hmm.
Submariner doesn't have as much water resistance.
Hmm.
Oh, I mean, sorry, not the Submariner. Sorry, the
The
Speedmaster. The
the
Speedmaster doesn't
yeah.
have the same water resistance as the new dyed Panda.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely check it out. Could be
I'm
a cool
excited. I
addition.
love
Yeah.
buying watches.
Hey, man. I mean, it's yeah, Tudor is going to be a great, great alternative, and you already have one foot in the door, so
Mhm.
that
Yeah, I mean,
could
I don't feel
be.
like I'm missing out by not buying Rolex. I have a
Yeah,
solid gold Rolex. What else? What else?
dude,
What more could you need?
dude, a solid gold day date. You have the Yacht-Master, the Speedmaster, a two-tone date just. I mean, like kind of all of your bases covered, and you have a Diet Pepsi in the Tudor. So GMT, I
Yeah,
mean, you're kind of set. The Diet Panda could be freaking awesome, and man, you're set. Then the next you should be looking towards Patek, a
yeah. Get
Calatrava,
a.
man. Mm.
I want a 5990. If I could get one, I would sell my stocks and buy a 5990 right now. But it's too
uh,
expensive.
that's
but it's too
yeah,
hard to get. Not too
yeah.
expensive, but
Hey, that's
yeah,
man, that's a crazy watch, especially as Patek is trying to pull out from Nautilus line. That
yeah.
could be
Because I
hard.
know, like back last year, I was like looking at a fit
Mm.
purely for fun, looking at like a
Yeah.
5980. It's like, oh, it has a brown dial though. I don't really like the brown dial as much as like the blue
Huh.
dial. What if you took the blue dial from the two-tone 5980 and put it into the rose gold 5980? That would look crazy. And then
Yeah.
a few weeks later, the 5990R comes out with that
Yeah.
blue dial, and it's like they heard me. It's like they're asking me
Woo.
to go buy one.
Yeah.
we can
Oh
only
my
hope.
god. Yeah. Those are like the mega grails. The mega grail.
But yeah, but it's also crazy that like
Mm.
the olive 5711 is trading at like almost 400 grand. And the
Yeah, it's just
5990R is also 400 grand. It's like, wait, how
yeah.
these are not the same.
Stupid prices, man. I was just who would Patek sell those to, and who would sell one then? Like what kind of client is this?
I think there's probably very few being resold because I mean the few
Mm,
photos that I've seen are some Asian dictator, the
mm,
owner of PSG. I think he was wearing a
mm,
Nautilus. I don't know if it's the olive one or not, but there's a few of them out there.
mm,
And it's people with way more money than I have.
mm. Wow.
But yeah,
Huh. Yeah, man, this is pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. So, w- w- where were you planning to go from here? You got the tutor. Now you're going to college. What are you following kind of in the vicinity of now I suggest the Diet Panda. But what were
mhm.
your plans?
Well, I to be honest, I don't know. I
Satisfied.
I want
Satisfied. Yeah.
I'm happy, but
Yeah.
greed is a terrible thing. I do want
Mm,
an AP,
yeah. Ooh, okay, okay.
but
Yeah.
I'm on the wait list for a Royal Oak from the boutique in Chicago, but I don't know if it's a real or fake list. Maybe they
Uh
just wanted to get me out of there.
yeah. Yeah, those
But
are
an
mm,
AP would be cool. I really love the rose gold travel time aquanaut.
wow, very nice.
Or was it the I don't know if they're making a rose gold, but the
Yeah,
travel
yeah,
time
they do, they
aquanaut
do.
with
Yeah.
the bumpers
Yeah.
little adds that symmetry, and I think
Yeah.
that looks great. But right now I'm just happy where I'm at. If my AD calls me and says that I can get a Daytona,
Yeah. Right?
that'd be great.
Maybe.
If they don't, I'm still happy.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Amazing, man. That's quite those are quite some dreams. I think
Yeah,
the best way to be able to get those is making contacts. Just making
yeah,
contact in the community, get someone to refer you,
hmm
and continue talking watches, engaging and building that story, right?
yeah,
It's about wearing them, right? You have to make sure
yeah.
that you wear them. Which are you bringing the whole collection to the UK, or are you What's the situation? Or are you just taking the GMT? What's the? 'Cause you don't want to.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mm,
Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I put the Tudor on my Amex
yeah.
card that has the purchase protection, so if I
Yeah.
lose it in 120 days, it's covered.
Okay. All right.
But I don't know. I might bring the day dates
Mm-hmm.
and the sub, or I might just bring. I don't know. I don't know what watches I'm gonna bring yet, but I'm definitely just gonna bring the Tudor because if I lose it, it's fine.
Yeah.
If I don't lose
Not
it,
the end
it's
of the
also fine.
world. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
not. It's not the end of the world, but you would like not to lose it, not to get it stolen,
yeah,
because actually, um, that is a scary proposition. That, but
yeah,
then again, I mean, you're gonna be in college like that. It's not like London. London,
yeah,
just bring the GMT. You're gonna be fine.
yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, I'm excited. I think that I'll be able to make a ton of great memories in
Yeah.
college. If I come back to my 80 after I graduate and I pull out a
Yeah.
photo of me playing in the Atlantic Cup against Harvard and Yale and Cambridge playing polo,
Yeah.
that might be able to hey, this guy might
Yes.
be a good representation of our brands.
That's exactly what you want. Oh, you know what? Maybe then you should be bringing the Submariner. You should be wearing the Submariner during if you're going to be playing those
Yeah,
games, right? You need the sub. You need the sub.
I need to show the 80 that I'm wearing and using the Rolex.
Yes.
I
Yes.
I've worn it once
Yeah.
playing polo,
Mm.
but not when I was tacking up the horses, because tacking up the horses
Yeah.
actually kind of gets banged around.
Mm.
But yeah, I've worn it playing polo before, and that's where I got the first scratch on the case up
Yeah.
here. But it happens, and it's fine.
I
I wish
think
it didn't, but it's fine.
I think that that's the two watches that you should bring. The sub and the GMT. You got the two perfect
Hmm.
combo meal deal. You got the GMT to know the time back at home.
Hmm.
Sub to take pictures with for the
Yeah,
important events.
yeah. I'm going on a road trip to Scotland
Ooh,
before in like September 15th.
nice.
So, Loch Ness, 280 meters deep, Submariner, 300-meter rating. Not going down there, but it'll be a good photo, good
Perfect.
little post on
View.
Instagram.
Yes, I like that.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a fun time.
I think that's the two. I think that's the two. I would highly recommend you to bring those two because they're more undercover. Anything that's goldish is
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of
plus.
attention.
Yeah. Yeah, those two. Send us pictures. Send the pictures. Share them with the community.
Of course,
I
of
wanna be able
course.
to link the stories. We're gonna do part 2 as well
Okay.
with the updates. Maybe
Hmm.
even from there. If you got any stories, contact me. We're gonna do a
Hmm.
follow up part 2.
Hopefully, there's no losing the Tudor story.
The legend continues. People gonna know. Like, well, I'm gonna actually put it as part 1. We're gonna say, "Where's part 2?" Well, it's coming soon. It's coming soon. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
I have to head out. I have to play tennis with my mom. I'm gonna
Yeah.
wear this while I play tennis.
Yes. Yes.
But yeah, nice. Gonna use it. Gonna wear it hard. Not abuse it, but wear it hard.
Yeah. You have to love your watches, guys. You have to
Hmm.
love the watches. Wear them in good health.
Yeah.
What does your mom wear?
She doesn't wear anything. She wears an Apple Watch.
Ooh,
She has. I think she has like a Cartier balloon and a tank.
Ballon Bleu. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
and I think she has. Yeah, she's not into watches. She has her Apple Watch.
Yeah. Look, it's okay. It's okay. It's not for everyone. Oh, I mean,
Yeah.
look. We'll see. Maybe you'll get her some gift when you graduate, when you finish school.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you for investing all this money into
Yeah.
me. Here is a small value of that.
There you go. And then she can wear it, and then uh, it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how this story goes. We'll see how this story
Yeah.
goes. Definitely, this is going to continue.
Mhm.
All right.
All right. Thank you so much, Tim.
Hey man, this was but pleasure was all mine. Pleasure was all mine, man. This is I need to do more of these. And definitely, as I told you, I'm gonna release this. I don't know when, but it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun to see.
Yeah,
I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna let you know. Before
that
this
sounds
goes live.
great.
Okay. All
All
right,
right.
Eddie. Final plug for your YouTube, Instagram, where people can go and see how your story continues.
Oh yeah, I nailed all the SEOs when I was because I've done some stuff like this in the past. So it's
Mhm.
youtube.com/Eddy's Watches, EDDYSWATCHES. And
Very
then
cool.
Instagram is the same thing, but I don't post on there. And I also bought eddyswatches.com just in case.
Oh, very cool, man. That's
But it's just the YouTube right now.
okay. All right. So
Yeah.
so people can go check the updates there. And actually,
Yeah.
you know what? You need to start doing Instagram as well. Start posting there.
Yeah, I know. But I end up going on Instagram and just start looking at booty models and it's just super unproductive.
I know it's the e-girls for me, and yeah, it's you know how it is, man. But
Yeah.
we'll see. Me and
Fantastic.